It was a cold, foggy night when Lina first stepped foot into the old house at the edge of the village. The building had stood empty for years, its windows cracked and its roof sagging as if the weight of time pressed down upon it. People in the village whispered about it, saying it was cursed or haunted, but Lina wasn't the type to believe in such things. She had inherited the house from her great aunt, Sut, a distant relative she barely knew. Determined to restore it and turn it into something useful, she decided to spend the night there, armed with nothing more than a flashlight and a blanket. As soon as she entered, the air inside felt heavy, almost thick with memories that weren't hers. The floor creaked beneath her feet, and the silence of the place was absolute. After setting her things in the main room, she wandered through the halls, her flashlight casting long, wavering shadows along the walls. Hours passed, and as midnight approached, Lina settled down on an old armchair near the fireplace. The wind outside howled, brushing tree branches against the windows like skeletal fingers. Despite the eerie atmosphere, she felt strangely calm. Suddenly, just as she was drifting off to sleep, she heard it. A voice. It was faint at first, like a whisper in the distance. Lina sat up straight, her heart pounding in her chest. She listened closely, and there it was again. Soft, pleading, and distinctly female. "Help me." Lina's breath caught in her throat. She stood, clutching her flashlight tightly, and slowly made her way toward the source of the voice. It seemed to be coming from the upstairs corridor. The stairs groaned beneath her weight as she climbed, the voice growing clearer with every step. "Please, help me." Lina's hands shook as she reached the top of the stairs. The voice was coming from a room at the far end of the hallway. She approached cautiously, the air growing colder with every step. When she reached the door, she hesitated for a moment before slowly pushing it open. The room was empty. It looked like an old bedroom, with dust-covered furniture and a broken window that let in the cold night air. But there was no one there. "Please." The voice came again, but this time it was closer. Too close. Lina spun around, but there was still no one in sight. She turned back toward the hallway, her heartbeat quickening. The voice was no longer pleading. It was insistent, desperate. But no matter how much she searched, she couldn't find where it was coming from. It was as though the voice filled the entire house, surrounding her, echoing off the walls, but without a source. Lina tried calling out, but no one answered. The voice persisted throughout the night, whispering and crying out, always just out of reach. By morning, Lina was exhausted, her nerves frayed. She left the house, never to return, haunted by the voice that would forever remain unanswered. The villagers later told her that many had heard the same voice over the years. Some believed it belonged to a woman who had died in the house long ago, her spirit forever trapped, calling out for help that would never come. But no one knew for sure. And Lina? She never spoke of that night again, but the sound of the voice stayed with her, echoing in her mind, a mystery that would remain unsolved.